You know, this may have to be the last video that I do on the Israel-Iran conflict because my Israel fatigue is just getting off the charts. Tired of hearing about them, tired of hearing about their problems, tired of having them involve the United States in problems. And it sounds like Donald Trump has Israel fatigue as well. I had to double check this, being your trusted media analyst, when I saw a screenshot of this floating around. This is real. President Trump did post this yesterday morning on Truth Social. Israel, do not drop those bombs. If you do it, it is a major violation. Bring your pilots home now. Donald J. Trump, President of the United States. He was then later asked about the breach of the ceasefire agreement, which of course was expected. But again, at least Iran did come to the table to talk. And so this is President Trump's response to the ceasefire falling through. The reporter saying Israel said that Iran violated the ceasefire agreement. Do you believe that Iran is still committed to peace?
Yeah, I do. They violated it, but Israel violated it too. Are you questioning if Israel is committed? Israel, as soon as we made the deal, they came out and they dropped a load of bombs, the likes of which I've never seen before.
Because the ceasefire didn't take place until 12 hours after it was agreed upon. So obviously he's expressing his frustration because if the ceasefire is supposed to be pending and coming, then it's kind of weird to be ramping up your attacks.
The biggest load that we've seen. I'm not happy with Israel. You know, when I say, okay, now you have 12 hours, you don't go out in the first hour and just drop everything you have on them. So I'm not happy with them. I'm not happy with Iran either. But I'm really unhappy if Israel's going out this morning because of one rocket that didn't land, that was shot, perhaps by mistake, that didn't land.
From Iran.
I'm not happy about that.
Someone else who's not happy is Mark Levin, who has been beating the war drums for years and is not happy with President Trump for not being happy that the ceasefire fell through. Mark Levin, who insists that using the term neocon to describe the neocons, these are the war hawks, these are the ones who are always getting us involved in problems over there halfway around the world. He insists that that term is anti-Semitic.
No, we're not neocons.
Actually, you are. And by the way, neocon means new conservative because the Republican Party was hijacked by the fake conservatives, the rhinos, these war hawks, when it really should be a paleo conservative, which is a real conservative. I did a whole video last year making the distinctions, but that's what neocon means. The new conservatives who hijacked the Republican Party back, well, many decades ago.
What does that mean exactly? Just another phrase, you know, for the anti-Semites. Oh, you must be a neocon. Oh, I can say that left and right and nobody can accuse me of any. Oh, you're a neocon. Or you must be a militarist. You want intervention all the time, intervention? No.
A few moments later.
We have 30% of our Navy and all that firepower there, and we should tell Israel, take out their nuclear sites. We have your back. Now, get it over with.
No, says the guy who has been beating the war drum probably louder than anyone else in the American media. Well, I mean, other than Ben Shapiro. So these days we have to turn to stand-up comedians and independent podcasters to ask the real questions of politicians who will actually dare to go on their shows, like Congressman Massey sitting down here with Theo Vaughn.
Do you feel like Israel is a fair ally? Are they a good ally for us?
Well,
or is that too general of a question?
Well, I think it doesn't matter. Like, there's no big, giant, Great Britain lobby. There's no Australian lobby. There's no German lobby.
Oh, the other countries don't have them?
No, not like this.
Talking about AIPAC, the thing that Ted Cruz denied has any influence at all and squirmed like a worm when Tucker Carlson asked him about it.
Yes, this is singular. This is unique.
The foreign lobby, you understand this now, right? Okay.
I mean, if you're an ally, why wouldn't we work with you? Why do you have to convince us that you're our ally? Why do you have to basically go into every congressional office and convince them? And it's because they want to keep the money flowing.
Well, that's part of it, but they want to keep the wars going too. But here is the kicker.
What do we get from Israel, do you feel like?
We got a lot of countries that hate us. Is
Yeah.
one of the things we get.
We got 9/11, as the Central Intelligence Agency privately admits was blowback because of our foreign policy and our financial and military support of Israel, but you're not supposed to say things like that. I mean, you got to admit that there's something really weird going on when our top politicians in the United States of America sound like this.
I have said to people when they ask me if this Capitol crumbled to the ground, the one thing that would remain is our commitment to our aid, and I don't even call it aid, our cooperation with Israel. That's fundamental to fundamental.
So if the United States goes bankrupt, I'm sorry, when the United States goes bankrupt, because we're headed down that road, there's really no off-ramp at this point. It's when, not if. And we can't afford to pay for the teachers and for the police officers and upkeep on the roads and everything else, then Nancy Pelosi will ensure that we still continue to give the billions of dollars a year in taxpayer money aid to a certain little foreign country halfway around the world. Here's another cringeworthy clip that you have to see to believe. Here's Dan Bongino, who I have a lot of respect for, even though he's dragging his feet over there at the FBI about releasing the Epstein files. Here he is promoting his book, Spygate, and just, well, wait for it.
Right. What cause is dear to your heart?
Cause is dear to my Israel, the defense of Israel.
What is number one?
Here is our State Department spokeswoman, Tammy Bruce, making an equally bizarre comment.
The pride of being able to be here and do work that facilitates making things better for people, and in the greatest country on earth, next to Israel. It's an honor to be able to make a difference.
Did she just put Israel first ahead of the United States? Of course, I would never think that. I would never assume that. I would never notice that, because that would be deemed anti-Semitic. I mean, what's next? Are people going to remember and notice that when Mike Johnson, the new Speaker of the House, was sworn into office replacing Kevin McCarthy, the first order of business he put on the table was to help Israel? Oh, wait, what's this?
The first bill that I'm going to bring to this floor in just a little while will be in support of our dear friend Israel, and we're overdue in getting that done.
We're overdue in giving them more American tax dollars. Stay tuned, because there's some more bangers to come in this video. But real quick, subscribe to my channel if you're new here, because I think it's pretty obvious at this point you're not going to find independent, honest analysis like this anywhere else. What say you, Ted Cruz? Why did you become a U.S. Senator?
I came into Congress 13 years ago with the stated intention of being the leading defender of Israel in the United States Senate. Great. And I've worked every day to do that.
Every day. He works every day to help a foreign country. The only country in the world that you're not allowed to boycott in America without facing severe financial repercussions. Most people have no idea about the anti-BDS laws, the anti-boycott, divest, and sanction laws, because you're not going to hear about them on Fox News or Newsmax or any of the brand name mainstream conservative podcasts. But in something like half of the states in the country, there are laws that if you own a business that does contract work with the government, like a construction company, and you just want to boycott Israel, then you are banned from getting any government contracts. So you can boycott Ukraine. You can throw Ukraine under the bus. You can insult and mock President Zelensky, all that you want, even though they're in the midst of a very difficult war themselves. But if you do that to a certain little country in the Middle East, then you get punished. How is that not a violation of the business owner's First Amendment rights? Well, here is neocon extraordinaire Sebastian Gorka saying that free speech does not apply when criticizing a certain little country over there in the Middle East.
So I approach the BDS question as not fundamentally an issue of First Amendment. That's a smokescreen. This is the modern form of anti-Semitism. If you understand...
If you disagree with anything that Israel says or disagree with a Jew about anything, including the best flavor of ice cream, then that's anti-Semitic. It's not free speech. That's just a smokescreen.
This is just anti-Semitism under a new cloak. So, no, anybody who talks about First Amendment rights, it's a smokescreen. This is the new form of anti-Semitism and needs to be recognized as such and rejected by all decent Americans of any religion.
Actually, sir, you very well know that Israel is a secular country. It is not a theocracy. It's not like some of these Muslim countries over there where Islam is the law of the land. Israel is a Jewish country, meaning an ethnically Jewish country. People just don't understand. Mostly Christians have been brainwashed by their 501c3 tax-exempt pastors, their Schofield Bible, dispensationalists. They have no idea, really, anything about modern Israel and think that it's some, like, religious country when literally the vast majority of Jews there and around the world are atheists. But credit to this guy, Nuance Bro, who recorded this, I think, at CPAC, letting Sebastian Gorka back himself into a corner, showing that the brand name conservatives actually don't support free speech. They support free speech except for criticism of a certain little country and boycotting that certain little country as well. Just wait for this.
Sure. So you agree with the left when they say hate speech is not free speech?
No. So
anti-Semitism not protected
speech? You're trying to be very smart here. You're trying to box me into a corner.
Actually, you painted yourself into the corner, and you obviously are a hypocrite, sir.
But you won't be able to do that. Sure. Okay, my first major was philosophy and theology, and I have a PhD in political science. So try as much as...
Okay, so that is the appeal to authority fallacy over there. Instead of actually discussing the point, he's touting his supposed credentials. He knows best. He has a degree in philosophy, don't you know?
You will. This isn't about the First Amendment. It's about anti-Semitism. Hate speech...
That's not protected first speech to be anti-Semitic?
Let me finish.
It of course is. Just like being racist or racist jokes or being sexist or transphobic or xenophobic. That's what free speech is. Hate speech does not exist. Hate speech is free speech. The real smokescreen, sir, is slapping the anti-Semitism label on anyone for mildly disagreeing with anything that Israel does or wanting to boycott their country.
Let me finish. I'm talking about an ideology, okay? I'm talking about an ideology that resulted in the deaths of six.
Yeah, we've heard this story before, but most people have not heard from this former Israeli politician who let this cat out of the bag.
Often when there is dissent expressed in the United States against policies of the Israeli government, people here are called anti-Semitic. What is your response to that as an Israeli Jew?
Well, it's a trick. We always use it. When from Europe somebody is criticizing Israel, then we bring up the Holocaust. When in this country people are criticizing Israel, then there are anti-Semitic. And the organization is strong and has a lot of money, and the ties between Israel and the American Jewish establishment are very strong, and they are strong in this country. As you know, they have power, which it's okay. They are talented people, and they have power, money, and media, and other things. And their attitude is Israel, my country, right or wrong, the identification. And they are not ready to hear criticism.
Here's former Congressman James Traficant going where few members of Congress or those in the media will go.
But I believe that Israel has a powerful stranglehold on the American government. They control both members of the House and the Senate. They have us involved in wars of which we have little or no interest. Our children are coming back in body bags. Our nation is bankrupt over these wars. And if you open your mouth, you get targeted. And if they don't beat you at the poll, they'll put you in prison.
And it appears that many in Generation Z just don't care or aren't aware of the severe ramifications that have historically been in place and still in place for anybody who dares to, criticize that certain little country.
Name the 3 requirements to be president. 35. Born in the U.S.
Don't you have to go kiss that thing in Israel?
That's your final answer.
Yeah.
He's talking about the Wailing Wall over there, which is standard operating procedure for politicians to go and say a prayer up against. This is not a meme. This is President Trump doing it. Even though Jesus himself said in Matthew chapter 6, verse 5, when you go and pray, do not be like the hypocrites, for they love to pray standing in the synagogues and on the street corners to be seen by others. He goes on to say that when you pray, go into your room, close the door, and pray to your Father who is unseen. Here's another clip. This is of President Harry Truman that you're never going to see on any of the brand name networks because we are, as you probably can tell, very deep down the rabbit hole. But just listen.
Don't think that decision to recognize Israel is an easy one. I had to make a compromise with the Arabs and divide Palestine. The Jews wanted to chase all the Arabs into the Tigris and Euphrates River, and the Arabs wanted to chase all the Jews into the Red Sea. And what I was trying to do was to find a homeland for the Jews and still be just with the Arabs. We had several other people in the country, even among the Jews, the Zionists particularly, who were against anything that was to be done if they couldn't have the whole of Palestine and everything handed to them on a silver plate so they wouldn't have to do anything. It couldn't be done. We had to take it in small doses. You can't move 5 or 6 million people out of a country and fill it up with 5 or 6 million more and expect both sets of them to be pleased. We had all sorts of objections to everything that was done. Something had to be done. We went ahead and done it and had it done, and now it's working out. Eventually, I think we'll have them all satisfied.
Well, that was 77 years ago now, sir, and obviously things aren't going so well over there, which is why I am not only America first, I am America only. And if you agree and you want to sponsor my channel and get a great shirt, go and order the War is a Racket shirt, which is a quote from Smedley Butler, from my online store at markdice.com, or click the link in the description below. Or the America First shirt. And now all my designs are available in tank tops as well. So head over to the main store, click the tanks section up in the upper right-hand corner. So head on over there, click the link in the description below, and check them out.